Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Cliff. Cliff has a bomb drop date of March 24th, 2024, and a date of marriage of 2009. He has an at-home MLCer who is a high-energy replayer. He says, after seeing her sick father and seeing me depressed, she dropped the bomb and has been running ever since. She wears no ring, and I have no chance to stop the divorce. She and the two kids are living with me until we save for a down payment for a house for them. How do I make it through this time at home with her and the kids? She's not the person I married. Okay, Cliff. So there's not a lot of information here, and I want to be very sensitive to what you're going through. And I'm going to ask some questions and put some things out there that may seem difficult for you. And I'm not trying to put any blame on you. So remember, I don't know what's going on. And with the limited information, it doesn't mean that I'm saying anything is your fault. So she saw her father sick. Oftentimes, sick parent, death of a parent, that's a very common trigger. But at the same time, you also said it was your depression. You've been depressed. And then you had bomb drop. She's been running. She wears no ring. There's a divorce going on. Okay. Then there's this level of detachment you're showing linguistically from she and the two kids. So are living with me until we save for a down payment for a house for them. So some of the questions I have first are, you say she and the two kids. You didn't say she and our children. It's she and two kids. You didn't say but you didn't reference the children as yours. Now, that could be because they are older teenagers who came before the marriage, before 2009. But you being depressed, I'm more thinking these are your children and you're lumping them with your wife. And so why are she and the children both moving? Why is the MLC taking the kids? Is she in the MLC and running, or is it your depression? What is her experience in having seen her father die, or I'm sorry, her father being sick and her husband being depressed? So I'm looking at also not only from what you're experiencing as a left behind spouse who happens to be depressed, but also I'm looking at it from her position as the spouse of somebody who has been dealing with a depressed husband. And what is her experience? And what is she feeling? And so you said she is not the person that you married. Is she feeling the same thing? I want to reframe for you. What is she feeling? Is she feeling that you aren't the person she married? You have lumped the children in. They are living with you as though it's a crash pad for them, but it's your house. But usually it's our house. This is their home, the children's home. It is her home, and they are going to be the ones moving out. But you make it sound as though they've just stopped by for a while and are staying here for a while until they can find a place to live, as though they hadn't been there before, as though they're your sister's family and they're passing through. And so it makes it seem like there's a detachment. And that comes with depression. And you said that you've been depressed. And so what does she feel with that? She may feel that she's not married to the same person. Okay? So you're feeling the same thing. And what I'm trying to point out to is I want to build some empathy for what is her experience in this as well. And why aren't you fighting for the children? And maybe the children want to be with her. That may very well be. Maybe she's been a good mom. It's just that it's not explained here, and I'm not asking you to explain everything. But what I'm seeing is what you're saying. You've been depressed, and your language is showing it. Two kids, but you're not showing them as mine. You're not talking about them being my children. They're living with you as though it's not their home. And so they are just passersby in your life. And so how do the other people in your life feel with this? So how do you get through this time with her in the house? You change you. That is how you get through it. The same thing I tell everybody is detachment. But I want you to be very careful because you're dissociating with your detachment. That's too far detached. And detachment and healing. But for your healing, I want you working on that depression. If you're feeling, you said seeing you depressed. What were you doing for your depression? How are you treating it therapeutically? Do you know you're depressed, but have you been seeing a professional for it? What have you been doing clinically to treat your depression? Because that's how you get through that, is you acknowledge and then you do something about it. You do something to make it better, to change it, to fix, to heal, to cure. That's how you get through it. You make yourself better. That's going to help life for her also. That may or may not stop her crisis. I can't tell you whether she's in a crisis. I can tell you that she is fed up and frustrated with having not only a sick father, but a depressed husband who is so detached and dissociated that he doesn't see them as part of their life. They're just extra pieces that are kind of tacked on, rather than my arm is my arm. It's a part of me. I can't separate it from me. My children are my children. I don't ever want them severed from me. Yes, they'll have their separate lives, but they're always a part of me. And what I would be feeling from the language you're using about them is they aren't a part of you. You're not talking as though they're a part of you, and she's feeling that. She gets that sense. She's feeling like she's not a part of you. Your children are, I don't know what your children are feeling, but she is recognizing that you're seeing them as not a part of you. Your family. That is depression. So I'm not saying you're bad. That's depression. So how do you get through this with them at home? You treat your depression. You treat your depression. And she may be in her midlife crisis because one person's crisis can trigger another person's crisis. It doesn't cause it. Causes are deeper in the roots, but they can trigger it. But also, maybe her running is just due to, rather having the depths of a crisis, maybe her running is just, I just can't take this anymore. And I give up because you're not getting help and I can't enable. I can't stick around here while I watch you do this to yourself. And I'm not going to be codependent with this anymore. You're going to have to save yourself. And so she's not wearing a ring. No, you can't stop this. Doesn't always mean they've given up. But what it does mean is I'm giving up if you're not going to do anything about it. And maybe you're not going to do anything about it. Or maybe you're going to do everything you can about it, but you don't want to save the marriage. Whatever. But you do need to save yourself. And I would hope that you would like to save your family, as in be a family with your children. Be a part of their lives and have them be a part of your life. And so you need to get yourself back. Get the caring and the joy back into your life. And that's going to take treating your depression. And it's above your pay grade. It takes professional help. So you're looking at this right now as though my wife gave me a bomb drop. And my wife is going through a midlife crisis. My wife is running and she's living with me still. She's living with me. She's not staying at, it's not that she hasn't moved out yet, but she's living with me and she's still at home. Change that view of my wife can't handle my depression. I could be wrong, but I want you to reframe that rather than putting the blame onto what she's doing and she's running. It's why is she doing that? Okay. I'm really sorry. I don't want you to take everything on, but I do want us all to look into ourselves and see what part of ourselves do we need to work on? Do we need to fix? Do we need to heal? And where we are responsible. Okay? Okay. I hope this helps, and I will see everybody in the next question.